Hi, my name is Ron Hobson. I am presenting my final project for CM 7010, Research Methods for Construction. The title of my research is Safety Personnel Staffing Levels for a Zero Accident Culture within a State Department of Transportation. My thesis statement for the final project is that the Virginia Department of Transportation's Occupational Safety and Health Division is understaffed to achieve the program goal. Our program goal is largely defined in our Safety and Health Manual, and part of that manual is a safety statement, and the safety statement reads as follows. The Virginia Department of Transportation is dedicated to instilling a world-class safety culture for its most valuable asset, our workforce. This is a picture of our VDOT Workers Memorial. It's located on Afton Mountain in Virginia, centrally located in the state. It was dedicated in 2004 to our 134 workers that have perished simply doing their job. It underscores the importance of safety in everything we do. This is a document that VDOT uses to prioritize research projects and determine what they consist of. The research needs statement presented in the previous slide requires a schedule. I have attempted to develop a schedule that has the initial research, the data collection, data analysis, and reporting on the results that last about 16 weeks. As I mentioned earlier, my thesis is that VDOT is understaffed with respect to safety professionals. And there are numerous variables or factors that support that assertion. And they are as follows: the program goals and objectives, the DOT leadership commitment to those goals and objectives, the safety division in the VDOT or in the DOT organizational structure, and the safety professional competency. Another factor that contributes to safety staffing levels is your coverage area for each safety professional. The program elements, what's part of your program? Employee turnover, employee retention. How many people are coming and going in your organization? And lastly, training and education delivery infrastructure. So how do we get a safety message and a base level of training and education out to each one of our employees? One highly effective strategy to determine staffing levels is benchmarking. So what I decided to do was find an FHWA publication that showed individual states within the union and the number of lane miles. And this document presents just that, and it shows the range of Texas all the way to the District of Columbia as far as largest and smallest. So in the preceding slide, I showed the FHWA table that had the largest DOT, which was Texas, and one of the smaller ones, which was the District of Columbia. Virginia is the third largest in the union, and we're at 127,000 lane miles, so I thought it would be prudent to look at Texas as largest with 195, and then the top 10 includes Ohio at 49,000, so VDOT is approximately in the middle there. So these are the 10 states I chose to reach out to and use for benchmarking purposes. Perhaps the most salient factor in determining how many staff that a particular organization needs with respect to safety staffing levels is to look at the goals and objectives of the safety program. What does the leadership really expect results-wise as related to incidents and accidents and so forth? So Virginia notes that we're going to strive for a world-class safety program. I was not able to define that objectively in the literature, so what I did find was some information about the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and how they had developed a zero accident program. So that's what I used as a target. The leadership for the DOT, whether in Virginia or another state, is absolutely critical to determine the trajectory and the overall health of the safety program. Basically, are the leaders talking the talk and walking the walk? In Virginia, we have a new commissioner, and he is very vocal about safety, very supportive of safety. And the employees, I think, see that. They're convinced that this man is committed to safety. It makes a huge difference in the overall program objectives and the goals and the results that any DOT is going to see. Another important factor related to the safety division's effectiveness is where is the safety group prioritized, or where are they placed in the organizational structure, and what influence do they have over the department's leadership. This is South Carolina, and you can see that where they relate to the Secretary of Transportation. This is an organizational chart that shows the state of Texas and occupational safety and health in their org chart. This is California Department of Transportation. You can see the safety and management services on the bottom left. This is a slide that shows the VDOT organizational chart, and you can see on the bottom right that the safety division is actually a part of safety, security, and emergency management, and they report to the deputy chief engineer, and then to the chief engineer, and ultimately to the commissioner. The next factor that determines staffing levels is the safety professionals' competency, so their experience, their credentials, and education. This slide's taken from a questionnaire that I sent out to the DOTs that shows how the divisions are set up. It also includes the coverage area, but it includes the years of experience, and more specifically the type of experience, the type of certifications they may have, and then their education. The assigned coverage area is another factor that management must consider as they determine staffing levels for the safety professionals. This is a VDOT map that shows our 9 districts. I work in the Richmond district in Colonial Heights at our district office with our district safety manager. So if you look at the map, and our district safety manager would need to go to the North Carolina border for a training or for an incident, it's approximately a 2-hour and 15-minute drive one way. Another very influential factor as it relates to staffing is the program itself. And I divided up our program into 3 different elements as I sent out questionnaires: the program component for DOT workers, how we educate our DOT workers and train them, and how we manage our contractors. And with respect to our contractors, each of the DOTs has to address how we handle multi-employers, or the multi-employer standard that OSHA has. This slide's provided to simply show that a questionnaire was set up to note the program elements as it relates to the DOT workers. The health and safety program, as it related to training and education, the following checklist was part of the questionnaire sent to the DOTs. As I mentioned previously, the health and safety program should address contractors and how we interact with the contractors. So here are some questions that, again, were in the questionnaire, everything from pre-qualifications to incident reporting. This slide shows another portion of the questionnaire related to time allocation. So I wanted to understand, as far as our safety professionals, where are they spending their time? Are they dealing with contractor issues? Are they doing job site audits? Are they performing training? Are they doing substance abuse testing, or is that managed or delegated to other folks, or just how they're spending their time? So here's the way I was going to analyze the top 10 states. Employee retention is another factor that relates to the needed staffing. New hires are more likely to get hurt statistically. The safety training and education part or factor is vitally important. How do we train our people? How do we educate our new hires and our existing personnel? Is it classes, one-on-one training, computer-based training? What resources does the safety professional have to refer people and get them trained? Ultimately, leadership is concerned about the program effectiveness. Is the program preventing accidents and injuries? These are some leading and lagging indicators that I considered when I developed the questionnaire. The questionnaire was set up to gather data on lagging and leading indicators. So our lagging indicators are the experience modification rating, the total recordable incident rating, the days away restricted time, and the leading indicators were basically compliance audit results. This is the VDOT statewide safety report from 2018, and it shows our districts, it shows our total man hours, and it shows OSHA recordable rates. It also shows a total cost incurred, and the total cost incurred is $3.7 million. And I show that just to say that's a big number. And I wanted us to look at safety from an investment standpoint. If we hire some folks and it prevents some injuries or accidents, then it's actually a cost savings to the department. These are results from Missouri DOT. As you can see, they're higher than Virginia, but they do use a different tool to assess injuries and record them. As I've stated, the questionnaires went out to other DOTs, and I have compiled the results from the top 6 DOTs, where I look at the total number of employees, the total number of field staff for each of the DOTs, the total number of safety personnel, total number of field staff as far as safety that are dedicated to the field. And then I just develop ratios. So as you can see, South Carolina has the lowest ratio of 1 safety professional to every 76 field people, and Virginia has the highest at 1 safety professional to 471 field personnel. This slide is a summary of the ratios in a graphical depiction. Another method to estimate safety staffing needs are to use the American Society of Safety Engineers staffing formula, the ASSE staffing formula. It's based upon the number of employees, the degree of the hazard, the geographic area that they need to cover, and so forth. The ASSE formula mathematically is very simple, as you can see here. As stated in the previous slide, the formula is simplistic. However, inputting the values into the formula, it requires quite a bit of judgment. If you think about table 3 as provided in the slide, the ranges are from 0.4 to 4.5 that assess the degree of hazard. So it is a challenging formula to work through. The formula did indicate a need of 1.9 safety professionals per VDOT district. In an effort to conclude the presentation, I did want to clearly state that there was an insufficient amount of time to collect enough data to draw definite conclusions. But that said, the preliminary data from benchmarking in the ASE formula would indicate that this is a promising thesis, and that I would suggest to leadership at VDOT that we spend a little more time and assess really where we should be with respect to staffing. As I indicated in the previous slide, it was difficult to try to pull together so much information in such a short period of time. So, without question, additional information and additional research is needed in the project.